very good morning, everyone. I started my day by logging into Asana, the project management tool, which helps me put my priorities together. And since I have taken over WebEngage's Instagram account for today, I'm going to tell you what exactly do I do. But before that, I'm going to tell you what essentially go to market is. I help put together a plan which helps understand who is our ideal customer profile and how do we gain competitive advantage in different markets that we operate in.
So I just got done with my MENA call, which happens every Monday. It essentially helps me run the operations for the whole region. And we had a great call today because we just decided what is the next quarter plan, what's the marketing mix going to be, how do we reallocate our budgets, etc. etc. But when I do take a break, the plant freak in me comes back and I just water my plants a little bit, help them grow, and recoup my energy for the next call.
So I'm back at my desk right now, and I want to tell you a little more about what my responsibilities are as a GTM manager. So I essentially speak to almost most of the functions that exist within WebEngage, which makes it a super cross-functional role. And that helps me understand what is actually going on ground. How are the customers perceiving us? What's the market looking like at this point of time? And that in turn helps me put together the strategy when we want to enter a new market, when we want to launch a product in an existing market, when we want to go aggressively after an existing market, or even evaluate a partnership, whether it's a tech partnership, whether it's a marketing partnership in one particular. So yes, all in all, this helps us build a solid customer value proposition and helps us find our right customers and also get closer to them, irrespective of the market or the partnership. And briefly, yes, these are my responsibilities as a GTM manager. So sometimes I like to change my workspace a little bit. It helps to cut through the monotony. But I also want to tell you, because a lot of you might think, like, how did I really transition into this so-called GTM role from brand marketing? There is no one way to answer that question, because I pretty much at WebEngage, you have the autonomy not only to do your work but also choose the work you do. Because from time to time, when we have our appraisals, when we have our manager discussions, we're often asked that what do we see ourselves doing in the next 5 years, instead of being asked that where do we see ourselves in the next 5 years. So I wanted to get into something which is a little more strategic, but without having to give up on the creative side of things, which is basically marketing. And because there was a need for the business to have a go-to-market manager, here comes my role. That's how I transitioned into being a go-to-market. So some of the tools that are usually used to strategically evaluate markets are built with Crunchbase, and tools like this not only help me understand data, but also help me understand the nuances of a certain market that I'm trying to evaluate. It could be not only a market, but it could be an existing market. It could be a certain customer board, or it could be, for that matter, a tech partnership, like I've spoken before. But these tools really help me understand more and more on the GTM report that I'm usually trying to build when we are trying to evaluate. But over and above this, I also try and have a couple of customer conversations every now and then, because that's the best way of me knowing what a market looks like and what is the on-ground happenings there. So I try and do that every now and then. So now it might be a question for some of you that how to become a successful GTM manager. For that, I honestly need to check with my manager whether he thinks I'm successful or not. But essentially what I do is break down information when I consume it to further translate it into strategic inputs, right? So it's not necessary if I might not need, I don't need to be a software engineer to, understand technology. I don't need to be a math PhD to understand numbers better. So it's about really having an analytical and strategic bent of mind and breaking down that large masses of data or the information that I'm consuming across business functions into strategic inputs. And that essentially helps bring together the whole GTM play for any market, and helps out all the business functions get to one formal decision that this is what they need to go after when they want to enter and capture and be successful in a certain market. So GTM is a very cross-functional role, right? So I think if I really have to speak about a challenge, it's because I have to coordinate and understand and have calls with leaders across business functions so that I know what's exactly happening on the ground, and which helps me put together a better strategy any day than just searching information online and trying to come to a conclusion basis that. So yes, I think I wouldn't really treat that as a challenge, but yes, it could get tedious at times. But it also allows me an excellent amount of exposure, so across functions, and so that I understand what work they do, how did they come to their results, what are the KPIs they are tracking. So I don't mind that challenge, like we say, right? So a little bit of discomfort always helps you grow better. The go-to-market strategy, some of you might be thinking, how is it different for a B2B and a B2C company? So the sheer volume of customers is what makes the difference, because for a B2B company, when you're trying to enter the market and you're trying to find out who's your ICP, there's a specific set of target audience. Maybe it's enterprise, maybe it's mid-market, maybe it is certain industry that you're going after. But when it's a B2C product, when you're directly reaching out to the customers online or offline, the sheer volume of it is massive. So automatically your data collection processes differ, your market analysis processes differ, the tools you use becomes very, very different. So, and what you're trying to arrive at for a B2C firm is also very different from how I try to put together a strategy for a B2B company. So yeah, that's the major difference if some of you are wondering how this is. So it was really fun speaking to all of you. It was great answering all your questions, and I'm glad if I could help anybody understand the role of a GTM manager a little bit better. Also, you got a sneak peek into the culture at WebEngage, which is super autonomous. So if you're ever looking for an environment which has got excellent amount of autonomy, you should be at WebEngage. So check out our careers page to look for roles, get in touch with me, or anybody from the marketing team. We are quite active on social media because end of the day, on a lighter note, what's life without reels, right? But just to let you know that we're always there. We will be happy to help you understand more about the company, roles that you can be part of, and your growth journey. So come join us.